Que no falta. And before, okay, let's get into it. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Um,
Kat, let me
Angie?
introduce you. Espérate, because that's not your job, girl, okay? Okay. Where's mine? Um, okay. Welcome to the 2025 First Writing Salon. You know the vibes. We're here to help you make your writing dreams come true. This is a free writing workshop. It is a BIPOC space to support you and give you the tools that you need. Every Sunday, you're going to come in here. You're going to explore a different genre. You're going to put your writing to the test. You're going to meet some challenges. You're going to be in community. A lot of the faces that you see here today have already published, have are self-published. They came out of the salon as well, are currently working on a project, or some of you are here because you want to get started and you finally said, F that, I'm going to give myself a try this year. Okay, I'm going to believe in me, right? So I asked Kat to do this workshop last week, and it turns out that she was going to teach it anyway. So I was like, come on, let's do it. Okay. So Kat Cepeda has accompanied us at our both years of our retreat. We love having her. And last year, she was one of the facilitators at our writers retreat that we did in Sosua, right? And Kat is the founder of Bohí Living Botanicals, which is, with a background and education in restorative practices, she has served community in New York City, the tri-state area, and DR. Today, Kat is going to focus on, Kat focuses on promoting ancestral healing practices and mental wellness and through her brand's offering. So at the end of this workshop, Kat is going to share everything of who she is and where you could reach her and all the info you need for Bohí Botanicals and all the other resources that she offers so that you could also get in line with that. Okay? So, Kat, I'm going to leave it up to you.
Yes, thank you so much, Angie. And yeah, I feel like I manifested this talking about manifestation because I was thinking about things that have helped me, practices that have helped me gain clarity, to stay focused, because I don't know if it's just me, but I have so many projects, so many goals, so many things that I want to accomplish. Um, and yeah, I was like, okay, I want to do this workshop. I want to share it with community, and I'm gonna host it for free Sunday, this same exact time. And like Angie said, Angie hit me up and she's like, yo, Sunday, this time, I want to do a workshop on this. I was like, I'm already doing that. So talking about manifestation, and I wasn't expecting to receive an exchange in this, but it came even greater because now I'm in space with larger community and new people. We have people who are joining for the first time to the salon. So welcome, Gerald. I see there are people from California waking up early, so you're not making any excuses. Thank you so much, tri-state area. I'm so excited for all of us. Let's get into it. So before we begin, I want to take this moment to acknowledge the land that we are on. If it were not for the indigenous peoples, the custodians who were here first, how they honored the land and blessed it for generations to come, we would not be here, right? So I want to honor the indigenous peoples and respect to our elders, past and present. And if you do know where you are, I'm in Lenape land. In Manhattan is considered Lenapehoking. And you can Google, they have maps where you can see what the indigenous name of the place that you are at. So what are we getting into today? Our agenda. We're only here for an hour and a half, so gonna try to pack in as much goodness as I can. Yes, more on Lenape. So we are going to be beginning with our intention setting. Some of you shared your intention on the chat, and I'm gonna give you the space to also share out loud, and create this safe container, the safe space. Um, I do want us to know and to be aware of, be mindful of that for us to envision, to feel safe enough to dream big, we need to establish that foundation, right? Where we know that we are safe, that we can express ourselves without judgment from ourselves and others. So I'm putting that there, right? This is a safe space. What we share here stays here, except for your goals and your accomplishments that you're going to achieve. That's going to be out there, right? You're going to be putting it out there. We're going to be talking a little bit about manifestation and quantum physics, how it literally is a science. We're going to do a guided meditation so we can embody our future self. And from there, a little bit of vision boarding, digital vision boarding. Thank you so much for adding the native land in the chat, the link. We're gonna vision map. So it's not just about, I want this, I want to achieve this goal. I wanna finally finish my book. I wanna finally get published. I want to achieve these goals. I wanna spend more time in nature. And so it's like, yes, we have the vision, but what are you doing to achieve it? Because it's really easy to put it there and to look at it like, wow, I can't wait until that comes true. But if you're not taking any actions, any steps, ahí mismo se quedó, right? And overcoming the blocks that we cause, right? Our limiting beliefs when we stop ourselves, like, no, but I need to take another class. No, but I need this certification, but it's not ready. But it's whatever it is, how to overcome those beliefs. Back to our systems. I'm going to provide some templates for you, and then we're going to share the reflection. So before we get into that, I do want you to take a moment and let's share out. We can have 3 folks share what your intention is for today, based off of what you've seen so far, también, and what you came with. What's your intention for this morning? Who would like to share? Hi, Sarah.
So I guess my intention for this year is to create a plan for myself. I always have a vision, but never a plan. And I feel like that's where I need to focus on and then, following through. So attending these workshops as often as I can.
Thank you so much for sharing. We're definitely going to get into that. Creating the system so there's no more excuses. Felix.
Oh yes. So my plan is to lean into purpose, potential, and power between the margins of every moment. I haven't worked in 4 months. I got amazing credit. I'm setting my LLCs and my nonprofits is just gonna go for it. So I'm responsible for my own success and failure. So yeah, just leaning into that fully, authentically.
Thank you, Felix. Thank you for sharing. And yes, you're gonna do amazing things. Okay. All right, so let's get into it. Ruth, your intention is to write more, stick to your routine, and you want to start a project you can stick to and see to the end. Awesome. To continue being present in writing in the workshop. Okay. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so jumping timelines and quantum physics and manifestation. So everything, a lot of these things sound woo-woo, right? Like they use that woo-woo term, like, oh, this manifesting and the glitter and the vision boards. But I don't know if you've heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza, that he's done a lot of research and shared studies on how people change their lives, even from physical ailments and whatever it is, from their thoughts alone, right? So your thoughts create your reality. If you are constantly thinking, I cannot do this because of XYZ, that's where you're going to be, right? That's what you're going to be attracting. It doesn't matter what's around you, it's what's within you that creates your reality, right? Sorry, not that it doesn't matter. Your environment also determines a lot. But if you stay with that frequency, that's where you're going to be. So your thoughts create your emotions. I don't know if you've ever realized after you go through a difficult situation and you rethink on that situation, you reflect on it, and you have those same emotions come up, and you feel like you're going through that situation again, right? And your body doesn't know the difference. So just like your body doesn't know the difference of something negative happening, you have the power to think positively on a positive outcome, and your body's going to register and receive that, like something positive is happening, something positive is coming. So what you focus on is where your energy is going to flow, right? So where your attention goes is where your energy flows. So if your attention is going towards your writing and you're creating these patterns, if your attention is going towards creating healthier habits, and you're repeatedly making the space for this because it's on the forefront of your mind, you're going to make it a reality, right? And when you act as if your goal is already achieved, if you carry yourself in the way of someone who has these goals achieved, right? When you envision what it looks like, what it feels like, you're making it a reality for yourself. So they say fake it till you make it, but it's not exactly being false. It's not about being someone you are not. It's about embodying who you want to become. If you are a writer, you say, I am a writer, not, oh, I just write sometimes for fun, a little bit, like it's nothing serious. No, you are a writer. And that happened to me even with my business. As Angie mentioned, I am the owner of Bohí Living. You may know it as Bohí Botanicals. And there was a time that I was carrying myself as if I wasn't a business owner, right? Yes, you are a writer. And I didn't embody that I was a business owner until I sat down and I'm like, this is for real. This isn't a game. Yes, I do it because I love it and I'm doing it with intention, but I need to carry myself as such because this is the reality, right? So you embody who it is that you want to become. Now let's get into the meditation. I do want to talk about our focus for the meditation. And this is where you're going to take out your pen and paper because we are going to write after we go through the meditation. If you have headphones, I recommend it. It'll be helpful to block out any sounds on the outside. If not, that's fine. So these are the things that we're going to be focusing on through this meditation. What you want your life to look and feel like. The feel is very important. And I want you to go as far to imagine feelings that you possibly may have not experienced before, right? You're thinking large, you're thinking big, you're not limiting yourself. So if it is that you want to have financial freedom, what does it feel like to have financial freedom, right? What does it feel like to have this flexibility in your life where you can take the time to dedicate to the things that bring you joy, the things that you love, the things that you're passionate about? So you're going to reflect on where you're at now where you desire to be. Once I bring you into the meditation, I want you, this is like a heads up of where we're going. What the action steps are that you can take to get there. And based on your soul calling, what you're good at, how can you support people through this, right? Because ultimately, what we are here to do is not just for ourselves, right? Through our writings, through our practices, us being who we are influences the people around us. So how is my project, how is my being supporting people directly or indirectly? What is it that you are creating? And I want you to remember intentionality when you are envisioning this. Don't leave yourself and your well-being out. So when you're imagining achieving these goals, whatever the major goals are, I want you to make the time for yourself and your well-being in this as well, right? Also imagine what it's like to take time to reset, to be with yourself, to gain that mental clarity. All right, so let's get into this meditation. I invite you to, for now, put your pen down, sit back in your chair, relax your shoulders, take a deep breath. And if you feel comfortable enough, I invite you to close your eyes. You can move your head in a circle. Slowly take out any kinks you may be feeling. Take a deep breath in. Fill your belly up with air. Exhale. Deep breath in. Exhale. As I guide you through this meditation, I want you to continue this rhythm of breathing. As you are regulating your nervous system, I want you to imagine being in that space where you achieved one of the major goals that have been at the top of your mind and your heart for years. That thing. What is it? When you are in this space where you achieve this goal, who is around you? What does your community look like? Do they have shared goals? Do they have similar upbringings as you? What does it look like? Is the space warm? Are you in a cozy apartment? In a community space? In a cafe? At a bookstore? On the island? Which island in the Caribbean? Is there laughter? Is there joy? And while you are there and you see your people around you laughing and enjoying yourselves, you take a moment and you think, wow, I achieved it. What did I do to get here? How did I organize myself to get here after all the times I told myself I couldn't? What were my daily practices? Was I going to sleep a little earlier, to wake up earlier in the morning? and achieve the things I had no time for in the afternoon, in the evening. Was I doing a little practice for myself every day? Prayer, meditation, movement. What did I remove from my life that was adding an extra weight? That now that I look back, I don't miss it. I see how the energy that was pulling from me was holding me back. What past experiences did I hold on to that were no longer serving me? I release them with peace. And now that I'm here in the present, how can I continue to support my people, being myself, not making myself smaller? What does my daily writing practice look like? What does my daily meeting with myself look like? Is it at your bed in the morning? You pull out your journal and set your intentions with your morning pages. Is it on your walk where you clear your mind? And from here, I'm speaking with the folks in my space who want to continue growing as well together. We speak to each other about how we can support each other, how we can reach our goals. I want you to hold on to this feeling where you are in this space. Hold on to the feeling. What is the feeling? Where do you feel it in your body? Do you feel the butterflies in your stomach? Or your heart is bursting of joy? Now let's come back. You can take a deep breath in. Exhale. You can begin to wiggle your fingers, coming back. I invite you to open your eyes. Welcome back. How was it? Where did you go? What did it look like in Tabay? What I want you to do in the next 7 minutes, I'm going to put a timer. I want you to make a chart on your paper. On one side, it's going to say goals. And on the other side, it's going to say feelings, emotions. Start writing them down. 7 minutes on the timer. Have about 3 more minutes. Four more minutes. Okay. You're going to be coming back, finish up that thought. And who would like to share what came up for them? What you're envisioning, what you're feeling? You can raise your hand.
Hi. So I did the writing activity in my journal, but even as I was doing the meditation, I feel like really reflecting on the emotions that like accomplishing these goals would like make me feel was really powerful. And I think as I was writing, even more and more emotions and feelings came up, and it really made me realize just a lot about like how I currently feel too, about, my goals or myself. And I think it was like really eye-opening. So thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. Julie? You're muted.
Okay, hi. Thank you so much for this nice exercise. It was really um uh I guess like really helped me visualize and feel, but like really deeply feel it, I guess, right? And so I did the chart, goals and emotions, and I'll just share like that some of them were bigger goals and some of them were smaller goals, which I tend to always go. I think a lot of us are guilty of like always going for the bigger picture, without for like, and then we forget that there are smaller ones, you know, to be done prior. So like I'll share, I put one of my goals, attending salons regularly. And the feeling was grounded or groundedness, because this has always been a space for that for me. And then publishing 3 pieces of my writing or art, and then the emotion was proud. Um, you know, and then there's other ones, right? Like creating a space that digitally houses my work, organized. So it was a really nice way of slowing down, but then still thinking big. So thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing. Anyone else? Yes. Mel?
Winter tends to be really hard for me just because of the winter blues, I'll say. And so it gets me really, it's difficult for me to actually take action on things. So doing this really served as a realignment. Okay, start over. Every day is a new day, you know, type of thing. And um, thank you for saying what you said, Julie, about like the little things that we have to do first to get to the big part. I think I do the opposite. I think about the big problem and like what's the solution, and then trickle down from there. Kind of like a vision board, like what it is that you want to do or what's in your way. And a lot of it for me is my mental health. It gets in the way a lot, whether it's the anxiety, the depression, the ADHD. And I think I always come back to those things that if I manage those things in a better way or a more productive way, all the other things trickle down, like, you know, being more consistent with my writing and, you know, being more financially free so that I can eventually travel the world. And then that initiates the pride and the self-esteem and the confidence. And so, yeah, this exercise really served well to just kind of shake myself out of the emotions, which we tend to get trapped in a lot, and just zoom out and just, okay, if I get these things under control, it'll alleviate. Alleviation was a lot of the feelings and the emotions that came up for me. Relief, ease, pride, independence, peace of mind, and freedom. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mel, for sharing. Felix?
Yes, so I think I'm on a like a kick, right? Like 4 weeks ago I was like in a state of depression, right? Then like a really bad space, but I told myself, you know what? No one deserves or has earned the right to tell my story other than me. No one has shared in the traumas of 43 years and so forth and surviving them. And with that being said, I'm really about like leaning into purpose, potential, and power, right? And you know, I got if I could just get time and task management down in my goals, then like I could schedule you know, self-care around there. But I really thank you for bringing to mind the intentionality behind everything, and also with the intentionality, also leaving space for self-care and being in healthy community, because you know, that's an important aspect of recovery from anything, and also just being on top of wellness. So I thank you for making me more intentional about just you know, the 5, 6, 7, 8 dimensions of wellness, depending on whatever modality you're looking at the circle. But I appreciate every one of y'all for adding to that. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Felix. Release? Oh, we don't hear you. Is your mic on? Let's see, say something to see if it sounds. I saw your wave, but didn't hear you. Do you want to write it in the chat in the meantime? Okay. In the meantime, while Corliss fixes her mic, Leslie shared she's shocked at the meditation to discover that there are things and people draining my energy. Sometimes it's my work environment, other times it's people. And Kimberly also had the same revelation. Right before New Year's, I counted my journals and realized that I do have a writing routine and have been consistent. I just need to add more time to get let me see, other types of writing in. And I don't have to be nervous about my ideas, about writing running away from me. This is a year I'm going to explore them. Yeah. Do you see if your mic is connected for me? Okay. To let the action go. So a lot of the time, and when we think about our mental health and our well-being and how the folks or just the reality around us, the world that we're living in, what's happening, if we do not take care of ourselves first, if we think about our hierarchy of needs, if you've seen Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's this triangle. At the bottom of the triangle, at the base, is basic needs, right? If you are not safe in the space you are in, if you do not feel safe within yourself, right? If you do not have a stable foundation, there is no way that you can accomplish these major goals, right? And the same with the root, the base. You also see it in with the chakras, with the root chakra, right? A lot of it has to do with safety and our basic needs. Are we eating well? Are we resting well? What does our sleep hygiene look like, right? Corliss, your mic is working.
I think, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Girl, this been happening to me forever. Okay. Sorry. All right. There's a few things that came up when I had my eyes closed and you were speaking. And there's a few things that I recognized about myself. But the last question, what is my soul calling for? My soul is calling to heal. I'm 36. I'm a mother. I have an 11. She's going to be 11. I have a daughter. I'm a single mother. And now I live for her. So my intention is to create a safe space for her because it's like not about me anymore. So the best I can do is calm my mind and forgive myself for the younger me and just raise an emotionally aware child because this world is going so fast. All we can do is be open to new things. I struggle with depression, PTSD, and your environment actually makes a difference. So, in order for me to apply everything that I've learned, I had to be uncomfortable and sit with my feelings versus trying to numb it out and have a drink here or there or, have temporary gratification. That's not going to serve me. And the older I get, the more time that passes, I forgive myself for the things that I've done to numb those feelings at the time. But I just want to create a safe space. I want to be a healthier me. This morning I went to the gym. I feel like that's what helps me a lot. Eating clean. This book right here, well, you can't see it, but think again. Jesus. I need to think again. And I really enjoy this. I'm not a writer, but I would love to hear about you guys. And, I'm just a regular mom in finance. And, your stories are very inspiring. And I hope I can continue to join you guys.
Thank you so much, Corliss. Thank you for sharing. And yes, what you brought up about obstacles is so real because that's one of the things that we need to consider, right? When we dream big, when we envision big, because if we have this plan and it doesn't go as we expected, it can be really easy for us to be like, you know, I was really wanted this to come through this way. I was planning for this to happen this way. By this day, I needed this to happen. And the reality is that things will come up unexpectedly. That's just the reality of life, of where we're at. So when we do have these obstacles, that's another reason why emotional intelligence is so important, like you brought up, because when we do have these obstacles come up, we take a moment, we step back and say, take a deep breath. Okay, how am I going to move from here? Instead of dwelling on why it didn't come out as expected, now I got to change my plan. No, is we also have, we need the flexibility. We need to pivot. There's this proverb, African proverb, that talks about how the tree bends in the wind, right? It doesn't break. So it's us moving with the flow intentionally, but still having a plan, right? So thank you all so much for sharing. I'm so inspired by you all. And even the ones that haven't shared, I know that you're working on amazing things. I see some more added on the chat. That some of you have already been practicing things, and I love that you are also giving yourself credit, right? And how Gerald said, thank you for sharing, Gerald, especially since it's your first time joining, that this is a marathon. It's not a sprint, right? So we do need to stop to drink some water, to rest, to fill up our cups, right? Let's go on. This is going to be your homework because I want to get more into the strategy. But I do want you to, visualization is so important when it comes to manifesting. When I say, what does it look like? What does it feel like? I want you to really envision what it looks like and feels like. I am going to send you a template. And what I recommend is something that I do is I love Pinterest. Or if you have screenshots already on your phone of things, because Lord knows I have so many screenshots. I need to start erasing. Use the screenshots you already have, or you can go on from the things that came up. Think of the keywords of the things that came up for the meditation. Search for them on Pinterest. You're going to see some really nice pictures, screenshot it. And I'm going to put in the chat a link to a template on Canva for you to do a vision board, and you're gonna go ahead and do that after. I do want you to really do this, right? I actually want you to practice it, because when we think about our goals and getting all these things done, when do we make time for creativity? When do we make time for play? This is also important, right? Like seeing it. So without nurturing our inner child, there's still going to be things that are missing, and we're going to feel disconnected in a way. Let me get this link. And have it in the forefront, this vision board that you create. If you can have it, give me 1 second while I pull it up, as the background of your phone when you create it. I don't know if many of you are tech savvy when it comes to Canva, but play around. If you haven't, and if your goal is to eventually release something and share your writing, I do recommend working with Canva, because it makes it a lot like more aesthetic when you're posting on social media. Give me 1 second as I get this template. When I get this link, or I can send you the link after. We'll send you the link after. All right, so now let's go into vision mapping. This is the part that we were talking about, like getting very clear on the steps, on the action steps that we're going to make. What is it going to look like? We're getting our lives together. We're making a plan. And Mel mentioned like backwards design. And I do want us to use backwards design on a bit, in a way. And I also want you to write this list of your major goals somewhere where it's easy for you to see it every single day. Because if you just create these goals again, and it's close in your journal or wherever, and you're not looking at them every day, you're not seeing what steps are missing for you to plug in to know what you have to do to achieve that goal. And if it's at the forefront of your mind, if you're looking at this list in the morning when you wake up, you're going to think, what do I need to do today to get me closer to that goal? To get me closer to become the person that I want to become, whatever it is. Then you look at it again before bed. What did I do today that aligns me with this goal? What can I do tomorrow? And again, not being difficult on ourselves. We're not giving each day, we're not giving ourselves this major to-do list. We're being realistic with what our days look like. If you are a parent, if you have full-time jobs, if you, whatever it is that your day-to-day looks like, think about habit stacking. I don't know if any of you have read Atomic Habits. Really good. Highly recommend. So when you think about habit stacking, what happened, Mo? You're reading it?
I literally just purchased it as a suggestion. So the fact that you said that, I was like, wait, let me try. My
Yes.
therapist actually recommended it now, and she's like giving me homework on it. So that's wow. Okay.
Yeah, so apply it, right? So, and it's again, we're not being hard on ourselves, we're being realistic and talking about habit stacking. Say if part of your goal is to write more, it's to be published by a certain date, to create healthier routines. What are you doing now? What in those practices in your day-to-day life? Think about what you do from when you wake up to when you go to sleep. What are you doing now that is taking from you, right? That after you do it, you feel drained, you feel exhausted, that you don't really need to do it. Like when I think about waking up in the morning and taking my phone and just start scrolling, that does not serve me in any way, right? So how am I going to habit stack? If what I've been doing now is picking up my phone, I'm going to put my journal literally on top of it. So when I wake up, my plan is to do morning pages. I pick up my journal first and I start writing, right? Be realistic. If you think about what you're doing in your day-to-day practice and your day is scattered, you don't really have a routine. How can I create a routine that doesn't feel exhausting, that's realistic, and I'm plugging in those things again that bring me joy, that I'm gonna feel good after I do it? Like, talking about working out or going on walks or whatever it is. And when you start, I don't want to do this, but after you do it, you feel amazing. And that's what it's going to feel like when you create these habits. Now, let me give you the link to this Excel. Do you all have Excel on your computers, on your Google? I use the Google. I'm going to share it right now. And we're going to go into creating strategy. Can you see mine? I'm going to share that link right now. You can get your vision boards printed via Canva or resized for, yes. It'll be nice to have it printed so you have it in a cute frame on your wall. So here is the doc. Let me know if you got in. Just give me a thumbs up if you got in. Make a copy of it.
Mine says request access.
Let's see. Anyone with the link? Okay. Try refreshing that. Let me know if you got it. Let's see you getting it. Make a copy.
Yes, it worked. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, because we're gonna get into planning our year. We're gonna get into achieving these goals. Backwards design. All right. Cuéntame, are we all in? Corliss is in. Mel, you in? Juvie, you in? Yes. Okay, awesome. Everyone else? All right. So once you make a copy of that, I want us to go on to open this bigger. Your yearly plan. So we're gonna talk about those major goals, right? I left some of my personal things on here so you have an idea. My yearly plan, I'm already thinking about like major dates in regards to my small business, projects that I have lined up that I already have, like yo no estoy inventando, I'm not adding anything crazy to it, just what I know I already expect. And I'm also gonna add to this my like personal things that I know what to expect. So I know that I'm gonna be in DR in July, so I already know what to expect at this time, like what my days are gonna look like. So I'm not gonna add it super heavy. I'm also gonna be in February in DR, so I know that I'm gonna work on something digital that I can work from anywhere, right? So think about your year and what it is that you want to achieve. By when do you want to achieve the major goal? You're going to go to that month. So for example, I have my retreat in DR in July. So then these months before it, I'm going to plan everything that I need to do before the retreat date. So let's start with your yearly. I'm gonna give you 3 minutes on this one. Fill it in. What is your year looking like? And based off of this year and how December was, I'm planning to take the last 2 weeks of December completely off. So I'm gonna put vacation on here. I know I have gratitude events in November. If your goal is to be published, you know that there's a certain fellowship you want to apply to, or a journal that's publishing and you need to submit it by a certain date, put that on there. Or if you know that that's one of your goals this year, to be published by the end of the year, put it on the end of the year, because before then you have to do the research on how to get published, right? Which I'm sure Angie is providing for you all. So you have your major goals on your calendar? Yes? All right, let's go on to the next tab. Oh. So, Quarter 1. We're gonna plan out our weeks, like themes, like by our goal, and what do we need to do. Remember when I mentioned when you're thinking about every morning, look at your goals. Every evening, look at your goals. If you do it on your phone, on your notes, or if you're doing it on a physical piece of paper, I recommend that you leave space on it, or even if it's like this, because the more you look at it, the more you're going to see, like those little things that Mel was talking about, the more you're going to see what needs to be done there for you to get to the next step. Right? For example, I'm going to be realistic. If I am planning on purchasing a home, and so I know, okay, I'm going to start doing research to purchase a home. So I know to purchase a home, you need to have a pre-approval from the bank to get the mortgage, right? So I need to make sure that my credit is well. So focus on credit. So week 1, contact bank. Week 2, on mortgage. I even forgot how to write mortgage. Loaners. You see, like or fixed credit for pre-approval. And then I'm gonna do credit check. Where's my credit at? And then once I check my credit, then the next week I'm gonna focus on fixing the credit, right? Take steps for and then February I'll create another one. But if yours is to work on your first chapter of your book, if you haven't done yet, if you don't, working on the draft. So I'll revise chapter 1. So thinking backwards design, if I revise it myself and you want second eyes by week 3, to send it to the editor or a friend or somebody to give an extra look, right? Somebody you trust. Last week, make final edits. So I'll let you finish up Quarter 1. I'll give you 2 or 3 more minutes to finish up Quarter 1. How are you feeling? You can put in the chat. I'm going to do one for, let me see. So if my overall year, I put for February, I'm going to be working on my juice ebook. So for quarter one, begin announcing launch. Okay, I'm going to show you all this February if you weren't looking along. So I prepared my month of February. I'm doing this so that once February comes, we're not like, oh my gosh, I made this goal for this time. What do I do today? What do I do tomorrow? What's gonna happen? And especially for those of us who have wombs and we have a cycle to follow. Besides the circadian cycle, we have the infradian. So we're not working on a 24-hour cycle. We're working on a 28-day cycle. And depending where we are on our cycle determines how much energy we have. But that's a whole nother level because then we can get into planning our days, our weeks, our months based off of our cycle. And I'll show you more with that at the end because I know there are weeks, if you ask my partner, there are weeks that I'm like, I'm getting this done, let's go. And I'm getting so much work done and I feel super productive. And the next week I'm like, what's wrong with me? Like, I think there's something happening. I don't know where all my energy went. And that's completely natural. So it's aligning and being realistic with that too. If you know your cycle and what weeks, like when is your menstrual cycle, if you have a menstruation. And if you don't, I'm pretty sure someone in your life does, and how this information can support them as well. Okay, so yeah, so I planned out my February. I sell digital products like ebooks. So I know that I'm gonna begin announcing like heads up, sneak peek, this is what it's coming for the end of the month on social media, building that anticipation. And even if you're gonna drop something on your Substack, start letting people know what time. Give them a heads up. What is the topic? Oh, this is so juicy, or oh, I'm being very vulnerable, or I can't wait for y'all to read this, right? And then I'm gonna be working on it behind the scenes. So I'm creating it on Canva. I'm creating a content plan. So I'm not on the whim, just the night before I said I wanted to share on my phone, like editing these things. I already have a plan and prepared. Now the third week, the systems are already up on my website. So when people order something, they're receiving the emails automatically. If they say they want information on something, it's all going automatically to them. I don't have to pull it out of nowhere or be like, oh my gosh, I have to get this done, but I'm working my full-time job too, right? So it's like creating those systems in place so you're not spreading yourself thin. And then I know that I'm gonna launch the last week. So when I go on my daily calendar, on my weekly calendar, I see this and I'm preparing my week for that, focus on that. So I know that when I'm building anticipation, that I'm going to be on social media, right? Like probably doing lives or sharing more on my stories. So I'm going to schedule time for that. I'm going to, even if it's 30 minutes, and talking about our current habits and when we're leaking our energy. How much time are we spending on social media? Could you be writing on that time, right? Is it really? And then the thing is, it's so many ideas. There's a lot of great information, but then there's so many other ideas on top of the things that we already have distracting us. So remaining focused. I want you to, on your own time, I'm giving y'all homework too. So you have double homework. But I want you to finish this for the year, thinking about your goals, looking at your overall year. Go back and plan each quarter. So you have an outline, you have a plan, and make space también. Like I said, I know I'm traveling in July. So for July, I'm not gonna give myself an astronomical amount of tasks. So I'm gonna make sure that June, I'm setting myself up for July. If I want people to still receive emails, I'll have those emails ready to go. I'll add that there, right? And talking about routines, even when I do go to DR, I'm gonna make sure that I'm still making time over there, right? To maintain these habits, that I'm still waking up early, that I'm still, so when I come back August, I continue what I was already doing. Okay, let's go on to the next. So limiting beliefs. Let's talk about it because we be getting in our own way. What is that about? Where did that come from? Where did these beliefs that we can't accomplish this, where we're not deserving of? No, tiene que soltar eso. And when you have these thoughts come up, it's a matter of catching yourself, which I feel like I mentioned in the beginning, catching yourself and reframing your thoughts. I really, really believe in the power of affirmations. I feel like affirmations saved me. Affirmations the negative thoughts and the negative beliefs. And I stopped myself for a really long time talking about Bohí, for example. I had this idea of Bohí since forever. My sister's here. My sister is Corliss. My sister's here so she can she's okay. She knows how long ago I started this and started sharing the things. And it really started with myself and wanting to share with others. But no, but I can't. I'm really stressed with work and all. I got to take care of my students. They're my babies. I got to make sure they're good. So and then I wouldn't put it, right? I wouldn't do it. Oh, but I gotta pay this debt. I don't even go to the gym. I don't even take care of myself. I can't. There's no way I can do this until it was like, all right, I'm doing it. I'm doing it and it's scary. And what are people gonna think about me? I don't care what people are gonna think about me. Right? If there is judgment, then what you have to offer is not for them. Right. And then you're gonna continue to attract the people who have those beliefs and who want similar goals and a similar life as what you're looking for. The people who you envisioned in that meditation are going to believe in you and support you in these dreams, right? So shifting from overwhelm to ease, if you create these systems, there's no reason to feel overwhelmed, right? And even if you do, because it's an emotion that you're used to feeling anxious, you're used to feeling, is switching that, right? Oh my gosh, I need to get this done. I need to do this. No, I can do this. I have the plan. I know exactly what day I'm going to work on this while I handle this other thing, right? So you know that manifestation requires intention. We can't just think about this is what I want, but not put an action behind it. Because then you're just putting it out there. But I do want to let you know that if you've had this vision and this thing came to you, it's for a reason. It's not for you to sit on it. It's not for you to doubt yourself. You wouldn't have received it. You wouldn't have received this gift of being a writer, of sharing these stories that will change lives if it wasn't meant for you in this lifetime. So thank you so much for showing up, for believing in yourself, there were probably so many reasons for you to not show up today, and you did. You did for yourself. And that alone, like that's it. You're already, there's no going back. And now we're open for reflections. Where are you at? How are you feeling? Cuéntame. Do you feel ready to accomplish these goals? Do you have a plan? Abril.
So the meditation reminded me of something that I've done before that I've seen like recommended is like journaling as if you're in the position that you want to be in. So like let's say if you want to learn how to drive this year, like you could journal like, oh, today I drove to my mom's house and I drove to my brother's house and I love my little car and you know all these different things like and I found that that is very helpful because it makes it easier to picture yourself in that state because you're like, oh, I would journal about it, you know, if I actually achieved that.
Thank you, Abril. Yeah, and that reminded me, I realized I have so many journals, which most of you probably do too, right? I have so many journals, and I noticed that I was writing the same thing for years. And what I was writing, it was the things that I didn't like and how the things that I didn't like made me feel. And I caught myself. There was one time I caught myself, I started writing something and I said, wait, I already wrote this before. And that's when I decided that I wanted to change the narrative of my life. I wanted to change the story. And that's when I started doing what Abril is saying. And now when I go through my journal, I'm like, wow, I did accomplish that. I do have that. Thank you. That could be part of your morning practice when you're reflecting on your goals. Anyone else? You can unmute yourselves and share.
I think I get almost like I laugh at myself, but I also like it's like a mix of laughing at myself and also mad at myself. And I try to lean more in just at the laughing at myself because these vision boards, I do this. I work for District 79 where a lot of kids are incarcerated and foster care, a lot of really tragic stories. And a lot of times they have a lot of emotional dysregulation, behavior. And my approach is to hear them out. You know, a lot of these kids are talked about, but not talked with, right? And just let them talk about the things that have, you know, have them angry or aggressive. And then I start into the whole vision board. And I always have this big posted thing. And I start to give me the your perfect life right now. Like I don't want to hear that there's money involved, like there's a limitation. Just tell me. And I don't care what it is. And I write it out for them, whatever. And then I stay quiet and I just stare at them. And it's like, you know what the next question is, right? There's always gonna be the next question. No matter what you tell me, give me a situation, a trauma, it doesn't matter. Just I'm always gonna ask the same question. And they stay quiet and I'm like, what? Like, what the fuck are you doing about it? Right? This is not so far. You're not telling me you want to travel to Pluto. I mean, it's possible. It's going to be crazy, but you're not telling me anything crazy. Like this is possible. And and I start helping them like the trickle down. Like if you wanted this, like this, these are the steps, like the quarter stuff that you just did. And you see them quiet, like, holy fuck, like yeah, it's not that far. Use us in this system to like help you out. And sometimes I forget to do it to myself, right? You're so sucked into like all these other things, and it's like I should be applying these things to myself. So I'm glad that I came here to kind of slap myself and realign. So thanks, Kat. Appreciate it.
Yes. You have it within you.
Yeah.
It's a matter of watering it,
Yeah.
watering the seeds that are already planted.
Yeah.
You know, Felix?
Yes, as someone that is so averse to journaling, just because I don't like to write about my day-to-day feelings. I just write a piece and that's it. I have tons of notebooks that are like blank because I eventually wanted to do something in them, but it never worked out. I took a junk journaling class yesterday, and like I created my own journal, like and then like it's sort of like what is that?
Like
When you make there's like a whole like culture of like a collage, yeah, collage.
yes.
And so like it was really great to be able to kind of like create like my own like specific like 3D kind of like cover and such, and it was really awesome. And I think I've gone full on nerd. I think junk journaling is my thing now. And yeah, so I think this is my new hobby. So I think it'll be great to like do like one of a kind, like sort of like one off poetry books, like when I get down to it, like
Oh,
you
that's
know,
gold.
$200 for the whole thing, whatever, because it's unique. I don't know, like all the poems in
Yeah.
there are specific to that journal. But I appreciate now like that it's not really like a diary per se or a journal per se of like my how I see it now going forward of like where I am in that moment. It's more sort of like a journey as opposed to documenting the nonsense that happened and not the trauma. It's more like the journey. That's why I was so averse to like writing about in a journal because I thought that it would document the traumas of that day and that moment, those moments. But I understand it now that it's the journey into the moment, not in those moments to stay in them.
Mhm. Yes. Yes, thank you so much. And I also like the part of like making it attractive. And that's they talk
Hmm.
about that in Atomic Habits too. Like how you
Hmm.
made it this beautiful masterpiece that now makes you
Hmm.
want to do more in it.
Yes, yes,
Is
yes.
make your practice attractive, right? You see how when
Hmm.
you're like, oh, I want to go to this workshop that somebody is providing and it's
Hmm.
they you go on and everything looks really
Yes.
nice and the
Hmm.
setup and doing that for yourself. So
Yeah.
when you have this practice for yourself, where are you sitting? What does the
Hmm.
environment look like?
Yes,
Do you
yes,
have
yes.
your favorite cup of tea, of coffee, of
Hmm.
whatever it is? Like make it an experience for yourself because that is also
Yes.
filling up your cup. Thank you so much, Felix, for
You're
sharing.
welcome. Hmm. Yes.
All right, last one.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, I want to say thank you. I remember I had such a big breakthrough in your retreat workshop, and this one is just catapulting me back there, making me feel as good and as vulnerable and safe. So thank you for that. Um, so for me, I every year I make these writing goals, and I notice that my biggest obstacle is that I actually don't sit down to write, and it's because my block is that I only write if I'm like, okay, I have all the ideas down. I'm ready to put this down to paper. And I don't do like junk journaling or just writing to write or writing how I'm feeling. And I think a combination of watching Roberto's workshop and this workshop is reminding me that writing, there's so many different mediums of writing and it can all leak into the other, right? So if I want to write a comic story, if I write about how my anxiety felt today or how I had such a really good day today, just get it out, that could leak into a comic story, right? That it doesn't have, okay, I can only sit down if I'm ready to write this, fictional comic story. Everything else in my life lends to that. And I think I need to have more room for that. I'm too rigid in what I consider worth them to sit and write about. So I think it was a dope breakthrough to have here in this workshop. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing in your vulnerability. because you're going back to like how our limiting beliefs can limit us and hold us back. So it's when we feel I don't want to write because I don't have anything major to write about. No, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna write, I'm gonna get this out and see where it goes. They with Joe Dispenza, he talks about going into the unknown. And when you try something new, you're creating a new path towards where you want to be. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. We don't recognize it. We've never done it before, but allow yourself to experience it. Just like when we're feeding a child and they're like, that's nasty. I don't want to try it. And you know it's good. You're like, just try it. Like, be open to trying it. Tú no sabes unless you do. Thank you all so much for, again, showing up for yourselves today, for being present, for being ready to take on your goals. I know you're gonna have an amazing year. If you are interested in working with me further, I'll share my website on the chat, or you can also DM me. I'm gonna put both. You can DM me and we can talk. And if you're interested in creating a group chat so we can talk about achieving our goals and stuff and getting it done, let me know. We can update each other, hype each other up. Thanks again.
Don't leave yet. Angie's gonna make an announcement.
Thank you, Kat. Oh, am I unmuted? Okay.
We hear you.
Thank you, everyone, for kicking off your 2025 of this workshop. I hope that it was everything you expected and more. My announcement is that we are moving all of our writing content to Substack. So anything related to writing, call for submissions, writing opportunities, all of it is going to Substack. So, and it's no longer going to be on our website, but on Substack. So if you want to continue following us on this writing journey and giving yourself this opportunity to continue working on your creative work, you may subscribe to the Substack. The first newsletter goes out today where we're inviting you to join the bingo challenge that we started for creatives. That information will be on the newsletter, so you will receive it, where to download the bingo challenge and whatnot. Mel over there, look at that, Mel. Mel printed the challenge so that she could check them off as she completes them in 2025. So every Sunday, I will be sending out a newsletter for those who join the bingo challenge, just to motivate you all, talk to you about writing, where to find the writing space, how to find your writing time, how to find opportunities for your writing, etc. And as we go along, I will include more and more content as it relates to your creative work. So I put the link in the chat so that you could follow it. Again, up until on the end of January, I will be sharing writing information via the website. After that, it's no longer going to be accessible on the website. So yeah, don't stay behind. I look forward to seeing you all. I also want to encourage many of you, like Sally that was here, I don't know if she left, to create your own Substack, to maybe make that your challenge, to start a blog where you find your voice and you start writing as consistently as possible. So those are also one of the things that we'll be talking about. But yeah, next Sunday, we have Ariana the poet, which is one of my favorite poets. Ariana has taught the Writer Salon before, and on Sunday, she will be teaching a free writing workshop. So you could register on the DW website, and I encourage you all to join. She is an incredible poet. Follow her on social media as well, because she also has resources that she consistently shares with writers via her Instagram account. Okay. So, you know, happy 2025. I think we kicked off the year, right? Right. So hope Have a good rest of your afternoon, and I hope to see you all next Sunday, okay?
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you. And share with me. Share what you've accomplished, your goals. I
Yeah,
look
go
forward to
stalk Kat
hearing
and
you.
so on Instagram. Kat, you should still
Yes.
share, you should still create like an Instagram group.
Yes, let's do it. Hit me
Right?
up.
You could start share an Instagram group, and I could email it to everyone who participated here so that they could join if they like, so they could continue that challenge with you throughout the year.
Yes, and I want to see your vision boards. So
There you go. She
don't
wants to
sleep
see your
on it.
vision board.
I'll send the link for Canva through that group chat.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. Happy
Bye.
Sunday.
Cuídense.